That boy ain't trying to get a hold of me. That boy trying to get a hold of you, and you gonna be in trouble when your baby's father finds
Right.
out. And she's like, no, mom, mom. And I was like, then I'm thinking, I'm not gonna talk to this 21-year-old boy just off of Facebook like that. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And she shoves the phone at me, and I hear him say hello, and I was like, hello? And then it switches, and I hear this woman's voice, and she says, Sharon? Now, there's nobody in my life,
Right.
my real life, that is
Right.
calling me
Calling you
Sharon.
Sharon, of course.
She says, Sharon? The only name that came to me was Jessica? Sharon? Jessica? And we do this. Are you Sharon? Are you Jessica?
Right.
Is your birthday February 4th? Yes. You said your mama is Elma Jean Atkinson? Yes. You said your father is Herman Felton? Yes. You were born in Detroit? Yeah. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, okay, but I posted all of this
Right.
stuff. And she starts screaming, Mama, Mama, I found her. Oh my God. Thank you, Jesus. Mama, I found her. And then I'm like, I'm still kind of skeptical of my whole life at this point. And I'm like, hold up. No, my mother is deceased. My father is deceased, so I don't know, you're saying, Mama, Mama, I found her. And she's like, no, you don't understand. Mama has talked about you her entire life. We have celebrated your birthday our entire lives. We know your father. He has celebrated your birthday with us. And when Mama died, she made us promise that we would never stop looking for you. And I saw your posting because I have been a part of these groups looking for you for years. Now it's a totally different. What?
Right.
Wait, there's people looking for me? There's there's siblings celebrating my birthday that I'm not at. There's a cake that they can't touch. There's a meal sitting at a table at an empty chair with my mother and my father and my siblings who are looking for me, and they have been. And I just found out that there is another me 9 months ago. And here's more people who've always known.
I am not too often left without words. And I'm just listening to you, and the intensity of the story continues to build so much that I'm just feeling the tension in my body because I can't even imagine all that you had to go through starting at the age of 53. There's so much to unpack, there's so much to be said. And this is the reason why adoptive parents should know if you're not going to be forthcoming and share your adopted child's story with them, don't adopt. Leave that child. It's too much to unpack when they become an adult and find out more in their later years what you should have shared with them from the beginning. Don't do it.
So,
Family, you have family who wanted to be in your life.
Mama has always told us about you. Mama has almost told us bedtime stories of what you may have become. That maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're this, maybe you're a nurse, maybe you're. Mama knows that you've gone to college by now. Mama knows that you have degrees by now. And she was asking to come to me immediately. And I was like, no, but okay, I'll come to you. I can't, I need to preserve my home from all of this right now.
Right.
So I'm going to come to you. And within 2 hours, I gathered up my husband. My daughter basically called off from the rest of her shift and said, I'm going with you. We got in the car. We drove to Detroit. And I saw all these cars at the address in the front. And I panicked and I went to the back door. And it slowly knocked, timidly knocked. There's too many cars out front. Not ready for that.
It was a
I mean,
homecoming.
I just found out about you 2 hours ago. I'm not ready for that. I'm just finding out that there is this family. You know, I've gone from Alicia to Sharon to foster care to rape and incest product to product of a May-December love affair to all of a sudden here's people that are waiting for me.
It was a homecoming. It was a homecoming. I mean, essentially, you have a family who were waiting to embrace you. And had you known the truth at a very early age, you would have been able to meet your mother and your father when they were friends.
Mm-hmm.
The truth was held from you because you
Mm-hmm.
believed a lie your entire life. Because so much of your story was stripped away. All of your story, not so much, all of your story was stripped away from you. All you
Yeah.
have are the stories.
Yeah. So I walked into that townhouse to a room full of people. My sister Jessica, who at this moment I'm thinking I'm just meeting my sister Jessica.
Right.
My brother Tony, my sister Durandra, and another brother who lived in Texas who was on FaceTime, who we passed that phone so much it was like he was in the same room. And nieces and nephews that are all calling me Auntie Sharon, as if they've said it a million times. And they kept coming. I had never seen the movie Antoine Fisher at that time. And as I told people how this happened, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's just like Antoine Fisher." I had to go see the movie. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
they kept coming. They kept coming. And I was actually, as a group, we all then went to meet the man that would have been my stepfather if my mother had kept me. The man that was her first husband. The man that bought her first computer and helped her search for me. The man who immediately called me daughter with his now wife, who is now my two-time removed
Right.
stepmother, who had been a friend of my mother's. There's no separation of family. These people know the story. These people were there. These people were my mother's first husband, my mother's friend who married her husband, my brother, my sister, my nieces, my nephews who grew up knowing my father. And they're telling me inappropriate stories about my mother and father. Like, no, they were still really friends.
Oh,
They were
okay.
still,
Spare me the details, but
yeah,
let
yeah,
me know
yeah.
the
Y'all still okay? They were still really friends, you know. And my brother telling me how like when their mom would disappear, sometimes they had to go over to my daddy's house to find her, and and I'm like,
wow.
wow, wow.
I, I can't
Um,
even ask how you were feeling because I am filled with emotions. I am at a loss for words. You finally get to see that biological mirror.
oh, and that mirror was none of my siblings look like my mother like I look like my mother. None of them look like my mother like I look like my mother. And my oldest sister, not older than me, but the oldest of the siblings, who is 13 months younger than me, um, I knew she was standing off. I knew she was standing back. And I couldn't even imagine what she felt like to be almost immediately replaced with
Right.
a
Right.
myth,
Yep.
a myth that walked in the door, a story. My brother is telling me, I have to admit to you, sometimes I didn't believe the story because we never found you. I'm like, they kept saying that that we had an older sister, but we would put it out of our minds until your birthday would come along, and then as he grew up and then was no longer participating in the family like that, he's like, I quite honestly thought mom was crazy, or that that the baby had died or something like that, and you know, and my sister immediately being replaced as the oldest.
Right.
And I immediately came to her and said, okay, let's make this clear. I'm the baby of the family, and I want to be the baby of the family because I know nothing. I have no information. I have no history. I have no stories. So I'm not here to claim your spot. On day one, let me make this clear. I'm not capable at this point in my life of being y'all's big sister. I'm not capable of being your big sister right now. So stop. Stop. Don't give me that position. I'm not I don't know how to incorporate myself. I don't even know how to process this moment. I can't even remember 95% of the names you just told me as you're introducing me.
Right.
So we gotta slow down.
Yeah.
We gotta slow down. Um, yeah, that was September 19th of 2020.
Oh my God. Okay. So by this time, COVID is in full effect because it hit you all in 2019, but you figure by 2020, everything
Mm-hmm.
closed, the
Mm-hmm.
entire globe.
Yeah. Right. So I just hit 5 years of that side of the family.
Right.
Just hit 5 years. And
So
to
that
add to
means,
that,
I'm sorry, that means the older brother was your father's son, the one who was 11 years old?
yes, 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 who I still to this day have never met or found.
Mm. Oh, and I
Yes,
cringe at that because I have a younger brother whom I'm still looking for, and
yes. Um, as much as my mother's children had a relationship with my father and knew him to be my father, they maintained a relationship because they knew We have a sister that was placed up for adoption, and this is her father. So they had that connection, and whether it was once a year or twice a year, they knew him as that person. And they respected him as that person. And so they had some sort of a relationship with him because of that.
Right.
But my father has 7 children by 5 different mothers, and he never bridged his children together. So his children do not know each other more than I met this one when I was 13 and I met this one at this occasion. So finding finding a family of siblings on my mom's side and finding a person here and there on my father's side, I found one sister only because her mother and that uncle, that favorite uncle, her mother and his wife were sisters. So the only reason this sister I found was because the 2 women were also sisters. So the 2 brothers had children with the 2 sisters. So she's the first sibling I found on my father's side. Then I'm told about another one. And I now have my sister's stepsisters that have claimed me as their sister. But I have not found the younger brothers, who are biological brothers, full biological brothers. And I have not found the oldest brother, and I have not found one sister. I did contact and connect with one of the full biological brothers who I guess doesn't have a desire to open up that part of his life just because he didn't have a bond with his father. And so since he doesn't know the rest of his siblings, it's not an important factor for him, where I have practically begged him, can we meet, can we see, can we have lunch? And he's like, yeah, we will. Yeah, one day. And that one day has not come. So I have spoken to him. I have seen him through FaceTime, but we have never met. And he doesn't know where his full brother is, because that's how fragmented, and because of our father going in and out of prison, they did not have a bond and relationship. So so that side, although I know a lot of Feltons now, and I've actually gone to the Felton family reunion, and I have awesome first cousins and aunts and uncles, my siblings don't have the relationship as siblings for me to be included in. So yeah, so from that is the journey from 2018 purchasing the Ancestry DNA kit to September of 2020 coming full circle in knowing family history and how it came to be. And at that time, I still had never told my mother that I had done all of this.
Girl.
I had not told my brother that was raised with me either. Because I needed to do all of this by myself. And there's a large piece of me that felt, you kept this from me for 53 years. You were willing to die and take this to the grave.
I mean,
I'm
at
going to let
53 years old.
I'm going to let you do that.
Yeah.
That is kind of how I felt about it. I'm going to let you go on with your plan. You can take it to your grave yourself, because I now know the truth. And it didn't turn out that way. I did end up having an incident with my mom that I snapped and told her, I know.
Look, that was saying it nicely. What?
Yeah, so and by this time, her dementia, her age, it was one day she would acknowledge that I'd know, and then the other day she would slip back into what had become her truth, you know. Um, So I spent a good 2 years very, very angry at my mom, very distant, very, I don't want to see you. I don't need to be with you. I'm trying to develop relationships with this family. I know you. We didn't have the best mother-daughter relationship anyways. I deeply respected her. I loved her to death. I was definitely a daddy's girl more than a mama's girl. I idolized my father. It was earth-shaking to find out that my father was not my father. Even through this journey, I was hoping somewhere I would find out that it was just mommy that wasn't, that maybe um, that it was picket fences,
Right.
that father had me with someone else and
Right.
mom took me in, and that, yeah, I was trying to come up with, I was so used to narratives being created for me that I was perfectly willing to keep creating
Right.
a narrative that was making this fit for me. But yeah, I was very, very angry with her for the deception. I was very, very angry with my family that had raised me, because I did find out, yeah, they all knew. And they knew even more than could possibly be conceived. They knew where they were.
Right.
They knew how to get in contact with them. I had cousins that lived on the same street. I had very close cousins that saw me as a toddler still when I was with my mom. That was, I have a cousin who has now told me how he saw me just at the point where I was just learning to walk. And it's still, although I understand it wasn't your place. It really was my parents' place. But you were the elders. You were my
Right.
aunts and uncles, my big brothers and sisters, and you knew that I had had hardships in my life. You knew that I had been going to counseling at periods of my life. And there was not one of you that ever just slipped and said, hey, did you ever find your mom? How do you now deal with the fact that you're adopted, and let it be a oops, you didn't know?
Right.
I don't know how we ever got to this age and no one ever slipped up when we can't keep a secret to save our lives on anybody else's business. You
It's
know?
it's the lies. It's the secrets. I mean, what are we doing? And it's the trauma that perpetuates, and we
Mm-hmm.
just, from one generation to the next,
Yeah.
we will lie, we will hold on to it, and we
Yeah.
hurt each other in doing so.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
hurting each other. We're hurting the people we say we love.
And my mom and I had so many occasions where we really, as mother and daughter, really hurt each other and impacted each other very negatively because I knew she was not the mother that I needed her to be, ever. She was not capable of being there for me at the times I needed her to be there for me, ever. She was never that person. I my parents, they were middle class, upper middle class. So I had the image that I had everything I wanted. We weren't rich, but I felt like we were rich.
Right.
I never went to public school. I always went to private school. We lived in a community that had golf courses and tennis courts. When I said, Daddy, I want a pony, I got a pony. It was that kind of setting. And I went to day camps, I went to summer camps, we had timeshares in Jamaica, we traveled all over the world. But my mother did not participate in my life. I went to ballet studios with world renowned ballerinas. And I don't remember my mother ever coming to a recital. I was a cheerleader. My mom never came to a game. I was in band. My mother never came to band. I was in plays. My mother never came to the play. My mother almost wasn't planning on coming to my wedding. That wasn't even my mother never, it never even was a concept to give me a wedding. That was never even a concept. My mother didn't come to the birth of my children. My mother did not come to her grandchildren's graduations. Those type of things she was removed from. And she didn't know how to be. And I don't know now if she felt like she had a right to, and there was something in her that kept her from doing that. And I don't know if it was out of her own guilt, if it was out of her own disconnection from our relationship, but she was never that person.
Yeah, it sounds like all of those things could have factored into her decisions. I mean, I couldn't birth a child. How can I watch her, give birth and
Yeah.
have her child?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I'm proud of her, but you know,
Yeah.
she's in the
And
business.
she would get all of the news. She would get all the paper clippings, and and this is Jackson, so it's very easy to be Jackson famous. It's a small town, So um, we own a company here. We own several companies here in Jackson. My husband owns a business. I own a business. Our kids own businesses. I've been the president of the NAACP. We go to a very well-known church, and our pastor is very well-known. So we're seen in community events. I'm very community-minded. I do a lot of volunteerism. I do a lot of philanthropy things. So people do know me. I am on TV a lot. I am in the paper a lot. And so she gets the information.
Right.
She's always proud. She comes to the award ceremony. She comes to the banquets. She's always proud. But then there's always something that she will do or say that separates us. That separates us.
What were some of the things that she may have said to remind you of that separation? Well, after you knew, of course.
No, even before I knew. Before I knew, that was a point of contention that why do you do this? Why do you say these things to me if you're my mom? That was always, I never can remember not ever feeling that way, that there was something there that I didn't know. There were things that she always said. She would always say things like, I know more about you than you'll ever know about yourself. You are so dramatic. You are so dramaful. You get that from your people. Aren't your people my people?
Right.
Um, you have your father fooled, but you'll never fool me.
What?
We're a family.
Right.
Your mommy, your
Right.
daddy. I'm not trying to fool
Right.
anybody.
What is this? What?
You have always had a need to be the center of attention. You've always done things to get attention. People told me you were going to be a child that needed a lot of attention. What people?
Right. What people? Who are you talking to? Where are these people coming from? What do you mean, people? I'm your child. What are you talking about?
The things that are in you, I don't know where they came from. And I'm always going,
What are you talking about?
aren't, aren't I you?
Right.
You raised me. Have I not turned out how
Right.
you expected me to be? And I don't know how to say this without sounding egotistical. I'm a good person.
Right. Right. Of course. Yeah. You can
I'm a
say that
good
about
person.
yourself.
I'm a good person.
You can
I'm a
too.
good person
Yeah.
because you have convinced me that I'm capable of being this bad person for so many years. You have called me a liar so many times that I don't lie.
Right.
You have accused me of stealing things so many times that I would never do that to anybody. You have said that I'm so this, that I'm over the top that. Partly to convince myself that I won't be what you see in me, but more to convince you that you're wrong about me and that you don't know anything about me. Because I would never be, I would never do, I would never say, I would never become the person that you think I am my entire life. Yeah, I never thought she even liked me.
Yeah.
I knew she loved me
Right. Yeah.
because you're mom, you have
Right.
to.
Right. Or at least you
But I
should.
know you don't,
Right.
yeah, but I know you don't like me.
Yeah.
You don't respect me. You
Mm-hmm.
don't, you come to a banquet that that I'm speaking at and clap and stand up and then get home and call and ask me who wrote that speech for you because I know you're not capable of that. Okay.
So you don't think that private school education that you paid for taught me anything, huh?
That you paid dearly for. The therapy sessions that you paid extensively for, that you allowed me to sit and process why I had separation anxiety, why I was so had anxiety, why I burst out in tears in school just randomly, why all of these things, why have dreams about being abducted, why I have dreams of being separated and lost, why I have those falling off the cliff and always falling dreams. And in Ann Arbor, and you're talking the 60s and the 70s, you're talking a time where clinicians were still doing psychotherapy, electronic therapy. I've had electrodes connected to my head. I've had sleep study therapies. I've had hypnosis. I've had all kind of things trying
What?
to figure out what was wrong with me, and you're paying for it, and
What?
you never told a
Right.
single clinician the truth.
Alicia, my heart is broken because you how can how? How can this be?
I still don't know how it can be. That's why I'm trying to make it so it can never be again to somebody else. The laws have to be changed.
The laws
The
I keep saying it. I keep saying it. The laws have to be changed. I'm gonna give you an
Someone
example.
has to decide that this is illegal
Thank
to
you.
keep this information from somebody.
Thank
And
you.
I'm not saying hand it on a silver platter to
No.
everybody,
No.
but those that seek it,
Yep.
the truth
Yep.
has to be available.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And there has to be something put in place that says at 21, you have a right to this information.
We don't have the same rights as kept children. We don't. We don't. And the laws don't care. It's just a matter of
Mm-hmm.
getting this baby out of the system.
Yep.
And no
Yep.
one thinks about what the needs of the child will be in the future. They don't care. They are looking at the fact that they are getting this baby out of the system, but they are not thinking about the fact that who or what is this baby going to become as an
Mm-hmm.
adult? What questions will they have? How will they respond? Will they find out the truth of who they are?
Right.
Care.
And how How we don't know that now in the day and age of DNA.
Right. Right.
Everybody now has the power to find out the truth.
Yep.
So why are we still burying our head in the sands and hiding these documents, hiding these records, sealing these birth certificates when you know
You know.
spitting in a vial
Yep.
is going to give me the truth?
Yep.
And someone's going to have to answer for it. And especially the baby scoop era from where I'm from, where so much information was skewed and changed and redacted and documented incorrectly, and you can't read someone's notes to even know, so many little bitty details that I, to this day, still have never seen my original birth certificate. To this day, still cannot verify that I was born in 1966. The sister who was right under me says, there's no way that you were born then because mom had me at this age. And I'm like, I was told I was born in 66. And she's like, there's no way, we're not that close together. And I don't know what to I don't have anything else to go on, and just even, even to change a name.
Right. I know. I know. So many are upset because you, Alicia, Sharon, you're like, what? What do you mean? Sharon, this is what why are you calling me Sharon? That's my middle name.
I, one of my biggest regrets being an adoptive mom, and now mind you, I was an adoptive mom for over 25 years when I found out. My biggest regret is changing my children's name, taking away their right to know what their mother decided their name would be. Especially in my mother's and in my children's case, their mother did not place them up for adoption. She lost them through addiction. My son was 10, so he always knew her. And I changed his name. He was 10, and we changed his name. My daughter was 2, and we changed her name to fit our purposes because we wanted all of our kids to have J names. And now that is the most shallow, self-serving. It makes me sick to my stomach that we did it. I'm so angry at myself for not knowing enough about adoption at the time I adopted them to have given them that, to have held on to.
Just something.
And
Then something, their name.
their name,
Given names.
I convinced my daughter on her second child to give her daughter her birth mother's name as part of her name. I was like, you need to tie it back. You need to tie it back. You need to give her something to reconnect to, you know. And at first she didn't want to do it because she felt like she didn't have a relationship with her mom. And she doesn't. She's been with us since she was a toddler. And I said, but you know what? Now I know there's going to come a day that you're going to want to have had a relationship with your mom. You're going to want and feel,
Of course.
what if it had been different?
Right.
And her mother passed away 2 years ago. And so they never got the opportunity to get to a place where they could become friends or even become mother and daughter because her mother was still suffering from her addiction. But I am so happy that my granddaughter, and she's my granddaughter,
Right.
so the very least I could do is give her biological grandmother's name, and I appreciate that she at least honored that. But that's one out of, we're a second generation adoptee family. We're a third generation adoptee family because you have me, you have my two children, and now you have my two grandchildren, and you know, that are not biologically connected, and we have, you know,
Yeah.
and they've got to develop their own trees
Of
with
course.
some roots on them.
Absolutely. And those trees, adopted or not, should still have your biological family
Yeah,
members so that you can know who
yeah,
you are, who you're like. What is that biological mirror? Who do I look like? Where are these personality traits coming from?
mm-hmm,
I mean, come on, there's so many questions that we have about ourselves. And when you are lied to your entire life
yeah,
for the needs and the warm and fuzzies of someone else,
mm-hmm.
it's the worst thing any adoptive parent can do. It is the worst
It
thing.
is, it is,
It's the worst thing.
it is. But I don't think any adoptive parent knows this
Right.
in the raising,
No, they don't.
but it's because of podcasts like yours,
Yeah.
podcasts like so many. It's because of our adoptee connective groups. It's because Adoption Network Cleveland. It's because of Untangling Our Roots that I'm hearing the voices being spoken more and more and more and more. And we're getting the adoptive parents, the foster parents to now start chiming in and listening
Right.
and going, oh,
Right.
this is how these 50-year-olds feel? This is how the 25-year-olds feel? This, well, mine's only 2.
Right.
I might want to rethink this now.
Right. Right. And that's why I'm so glad that so many of us are so vocal about it now. Like, I wish I had really spoken up about my adoption a lot sooner, but now that we have a community of
Yeah,
people who are openly speaking about their adoption stories and the good, the bad, the ugly. You can't just adopt a child and take away that child's
right.
biological being. You can't do that. And for these people who are the lawmakers, shame on you for
Yeah,
allowing.
absolutely. I
Shame
don't,
on you for allowing.
they, and they, we go before legislation. We're on Capitol Hill. We're telling them the stories. But until you are walking in this,
Yep.
feeling it, feeling it, whether it was your mom that was adopted, whether it's your, I mean, there's, and I know you're coming in contact with people that simply say, my grandmother was adopted. Yeah, we never looked for her family. Trust me, if you have the opportunity to talk to grandmother,
Yes.
it's going to change your mindset.
Yes.
When you're talking to your mom, it's going to change your mindset. When you're bringing these children into these homes and into these situations, know there's something in there that from umbilical cord connection
Always.
is always going to stay.
That's right.
And my husband still looks at me in disbelief and says, "But you knew." And I went, I know I knew. I felt it.
Yeah.
And I had the signs and I had the clues, but I had the lie
Right.
that was told was the truth. And all those times of me going, but why doesn't this add up? And why doesn't that add up? If we had, I'm going to take you back to 6th grade. We did a science project where you take the little blood prick and you put it on the slide to find out what your blood type was. And we had to do it, and we had to find out what our parents' blood types were, and the whole project was to discover whose blood type you came from, your mother's or your father's, which one. My blood type didn't match. And my teacher, not knowing I was adopted, she was like, something, I don't understand. This can't be. Your parents' blood types are not matching your blood type, so that can't be right. And she was vocalizing it because in her disbelief of the science, she was speaking out loud that, and she's literally saying, your parents can't be your parents because you couldn't come out O positive. I
Unbelievable.
wish I was a smart enough sixth grader to have taken that first moment
This,
because that was my first DNA test.
and you weren't thinking about that in sixth grade. Who's thinking about that at 11 years old? It is so.
I now think that science teachers, you need to be telling
Right.
these sixth graders that if your blood type
Yep.
is this one, and your mother's is that one, and your father's is that one, that you have some research to do because something is not
Yep.
adding up.
Yep.
And although she said it in her own disbelief. And all I'm thinking of is, did I get an F?
Right. Right. Exactly. And see, this is what adoptive parents should really think about. If you ask yourself these questions, ask yourself, why do I lie? Is it really for me or is it for my child? But why do I lie? If this child finds out the truth later on and they come back and
Mhm.
ask me, why did I lie? What answer am I going to have for them? Y'all have to think about that because
Well, and I asked my mother. I did ask her. Um, her health declined over the last 3 years, and I ended up taking care of her and putting her in a nursing home. And I had to reckon with the fact that I am now in charge of taking care of you, and the person that you raised me to be is going to take care of you better than you took care of me. That's how you're going to go out. That's how you will leave this earth, knowing that I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to do. And so we did get an opportunity to talk about, why why didn't you tell me? I understand you not telling me as a kid. I understand you not telling me as a teenager. Yeah, I probably would have rebelled. I probably would have went on the search and the seek. By 21,
right,
I'm already married. Because I got married at 20. By 21, and I have a child, I think there are things that you should have started explaining to me. By 53, that should have been long time history.
53?
But for her to still tell me, she never intended to tell me. For her to still say, I regret that you ever found out. For her to still say words like, I wish you never knew because now you hate me. And I'm like, I've never hated you. I don't hate you now. I don't hate you. I hate that you didn't tell me the truth.
Right.
But I love you because you're my mom. But this is all about you.
Yep.
And then as I replay my life and realized how much of it she was not a part of, I was very much a part of hers in the presentation,
Exactly.
in the performances, in the curtsy, in the kind words, in the eloquent speech, in the, oh, your daughter is so mature, and your daughter is so this, and your daughter is so. I was very much, you reaped the benefits of being my mother. And I realized through her words that I and my brother, neither of us, were adopted because they wanted to give us a better life. We were adopted to complete their better life.
And that's the thing because women who aren't able to conceive, especially during that time, they were, you know, they were embarrassed, they were ashamed. It, they had this image that if you are not able to conceive and carry and birth a child,
Mm-hmm.
something wrong with you. And so those women were shunned upon. There
Mm-hmm.
was no way that you could be a woman and not give birth.
Yeah.
It didn't matter,
Right.
what biological complications you may have had. It's still the fact that you can't have a child. And so, well, if I can't carry a child, I'm going to adopt a child. I'm not going
Yeah.
to let the child know. This is going going to be my little girl. This is going to be my little boy. And everyone will just, who don't know me outside of this, will just know this is my daughter and this is my son.
Mm-hmm.
That's my story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sticking to it.
Right.
They don't think about the needs of the child. And if we're being honest, the older generation didn't even know what the needs of the children were. They were
Right.
worried about what they wanted and what they needed. And so
Mm-hmm.
here we are now, Alicia, if we fast forward so many years later, as you're still going through the process of mending these relationships of your family members, you come across
Yeah.
the Black adoptees and we meet up in Chicago. And was a time had or was a time had?
That can't even describe it.
I'm
Like
telling
this, and I think one thing that all of us can say is because we have had orchestrated and narrated lives. My number one saying is family is who we make them to
that's
be.
right. That's right.
Okay, they created a family for themselves that I became. Now I've created a family for myself. The
Absolutely.
Black Adoptees Meetup was a family reunion.
That's it was. You worded it
It was
perfectly.
it was brothers and sisters from one united family. And our united family was we were all adopted, we were all black, we all had something in common that nobody could take away from us,
Right.
that no one needed to lie about, that we could live in truth, we
Yep.
could live in honesty, we could tell our stories, we could compare what was alike,
Yep.
and we could appreciate what was different, and just know that you're my sister
Yeah. Absolutely.
because Miss Jasmine,
Yep.
you are just as close as my sister as the brother who grew up with me in the next bedroom.
Right. Right. And
If he's no closer than you are,
yep.
why can't you now be my sister? Because you
Exactly.
are.
Absolutely. And that's exactly how we all felt about it. That was our
Yeah,
takeaway. So when you
yeah,
said, and I was laughing so hard at one of your Instagram posts because you said your friends couldn't even understand. They were just like, so you guys just all went to Chicago and
yeah.
met up, and you were like,
If they were like,
we did.
their faces were all scrunched up. What do you mean you went to? My daughter, my oldest daughter, she's like, you just went to Chicago
Yeah.
to
Yes.
be with black people
Yes.
that were adopted?
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
what don't you understand? What
That's
part is the problem?
right.
There's no problem with this.
There's no problem with it at all.
There's literally no problem with this. And I think people don't get that.
Yeah.
You are just as close to me as the brother who grew up in the next bedroom because we're not blood connected,
Right. Right.
but we are connected.
Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
connected.
Yeah. And I mean, I told Tasha afterwards, it was the thing I didn't know I needed. I told Tasha and Kathy, I made a video a year ago after the first one, but
Uh-huh.
it's like now sitting in a circle trying to recover. I'm
Yeah.
in recovery because I'm in a room with not the, this isn't AA and we're
Mm-hmm.
not, healing and trying to recover from alcohol. We are healing and recovering from adoption and we have each
Yeah.
other to support and
Yeah.
lean on. And
Absolutely.
it's the wildest thing to be in a room full of strangers, but still feeling like we
Mm-hmm.
are family. The way you described it was so perfect because what you said was it's like going to a family reunion and being with your first cousins for the first time whom you've never met
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. Because if you've ever done that, you play hard with them first cousins. You play
Absolutely.
and that one family reunion makes you first cousins and you long for those first cousins for that one time a year, that family reunion every single year. You can't wait to get back to those first
Can't,
cousins.
when I say can't wait, I could not, with the first one being in Atlanta and, I live
Uh-huh.
in Atlanta, great. I could not be there. But then when they said Chicago, I was like, I don't care. I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
But when they say Philly, I don't care. I'm going to be.
Exactly.
If the good Lord says so, I will
Mm-hmm.
be there. And
Yeah.
I don't ever want to miss one. We are
Right.
growing and healing together. We are crying on each other's shoulders. We are
Yeah. And
empathizing with each other.
it's real.
And it's real.
We miss
Absolutely.
each other.
Yes.
It's real.
Yes.
That connection in an instant,
Yep.
in a moment
Yep.
is so real. And for everyone who's gonna watch that's not already in our collective group, come on.
Yes.
Come with us.
Come
Join us.
with us.
Reach out to one of the podcasts. Reach out to somebody because
Please do.
you're you're missing us
You're
and you
missing.
don't even know it.
Right.
You're missing out and you don't even know it.
Right.
And this journey should not be navigated alone.
Yeah. Because
And
the thing is, we're walking into a room full of strangers who we share stories with, and we
mm-hmm,
feel like we belong. We know we belong.
yeah,
We
yeah,
belong here. We belong
yeah,
in this space right here
yeah.
with each other.
Oh, and don't get it twisted. We're not bitter.
No,
We're not angry. We're
no.
not mad at our parents. We're not, I mean, we are a group, every one of us were very well educated, accomplished
Right.
people of faith,
Hmm.
people, women of virtue, men of standard. We are people who have been raised to be excellent.
Right. Right.
Don't get it twisted. We're
No.
not angry, bitter adoptees wanting to just vent and cry and gripe.
Right.
That's not what we're here for.
No. That's not what
But you
we're here
have to,
for.
but we're onions.
Right.
We
Exactly.
got layers.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
got layers.
And we're loving on each other in a space that's so unfamiliar to everyone else
Yeah.
in the world, because it's not every
Yep.
day as an adoptee you meet someone else who's adopted, right?
Right.
So when you walk into a room full of strangers, and you know, as you look around this room, we are all adopted. We all came from a
Yeah.
place of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, listen, it's the thing that you grab a hold of and you can't let go.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
right? So, and I have to once again shout out Tasha and Kathy for the work that they've done and for organizing and
Yeah.
orchestrating this community and bringing us
Yep.
together. And they were even shocked. People got on planes and they came here. People drove their cars and their
Yep.
people wanted to be there. People are bonding. We are
Mm-hmm.
healing. We are black. We are adopted. We are unashamed. We are healing,
Yes.
and we are a community. We exist,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I can't say how how amazing it is to be in
It
this
is.
space.
It is.
Yeah.
And then to embrace each other's differences as well, because as much as we have in common,
Yep.
each and every one of us have a different story, because I don't think people really realize the facets of adoption.
Right.
And especially as we're getting ready to go to untangling our roots,
Hmm.
you have people who are black market babies.
Right. Right.
You have baby box abandonment babies.
Yep.
You have babies that have been removed because of
Yep.
addictions.
Yep.
You have babies that have been relinquished. You have babies
Yep.
that are kinship adoption.
Yep.
You have babies that are raised by step parents who have left their biological mother, and now the stepfather is the primary.
Right.
There's so many facets of
That's right.
this
That's
that
right.
none of our stories are the same.
Exactly.
We all have something to share. We all have something to contribute, and we all have something to feel and love on each other about.
That's right.
And then we all have this common thread
Yes.
that says, I get it.
Right.
I'm walking with you. I
Absolutely.
can I can I can hold you up, you can hold me up.
Yes.
And this is and another thing I had said was this is so much bigger than where we already have it. It will be national.
Yes. Yes.
It will be a convention.
Yes.
It will be
Yes.
because we have grown from Chicago
That's right. That's
We
right.
grew from Atlanta to Chicago. We're growing from Chicago to Philly. It's going to get bigger. It's going to continue to get bigger. And each and every one of us are telling another Black adoptee, we have a spot for you.
Right. We have a spot for you, and it's reserved, and we want you to
Yeah.
take your spot. Come take your
Yes.
seat. We are in a room full of people who are not looking at you in judgment.
Yeah.
We are in a room full
Absolutely.
of people who would
We
say,
can't.
hey, we can't, right?
We can't.
Hey, where you from? What do you know about your adoption story?
Mm-hmm.
Birth mother was on drugs,
Yeah.
wasn't ready to be a parent,
Mm-hmm.
gave me up. Oh, wow, what about you? Oh, in Atlanta, I met a woman who was a mixed race baby born to a same race couple.
Yeah. Yep.
So, to your point, we all have different stories. There's a different story behind
Mm-hmm.
adoption, but yet
Yeah.
our adoption has linked us in a way where
Oh yeah.
we don't ever want to not know each other.
Yeah. So I think one of the youngest attendees, and I won't name any names, but the young lady, she didn't know anything about her birth parents.
Yeah,
She doesn't know anything about them. She hasn't found them yet. She hasn't discovered them yet. All she knows is she's adopted.
yeah,
So you go from someone that hasn't even started their journey,
right, right,
to
right,
those who've always known,
right. Yeah,
to us in the middle who grew up thinking one thing and then had to change the narrative.
exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, there's a spot for all of us.
There's a spot for all of us.
And every one of us are still going, it's okay, baby, I'm going to give you a hug.
Yes,
I'm going to give you that hug anyways.
we are smiling, we are
Yeah.
laughing, we are eating and playing
Yeah.
games and taking pictures, we are posting, we're doing
Mm-hmm.
all of this stuff that you would do when you
Yeah.
attend a family reunion.
Yes. Male and female.
Male and
Didn't matter.
female.
Did not
Male
matter.
and female.
And I'm proud of our men because they don't process this like women. I am so proud of the group of guys that we have to
Yes,
nurture the new men coming into this group. These are a strong and rich, powerful group of guys.
absolutely.
I'm so honored to have met them because we don't run into them a lot.
I'm telling you. I mean, and I don't even want to start naming them, even though I know I can name a few, but I don't want to miss
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah,
But like you said, because men are so hardcore, they have this shell, and it's
mm-hmm,
kind of like, you're not going to break me. It's not even
yeah,
about that. You have strong Black men who are saying, yeah, I'm adopted. This is what I know about my story.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, this is
yeah,
what I found out at this age. This is what I'm, able to share. And oh my God,
yes,
y'all, if you're Black and you are adopted, you got to be there. You
yep,
have to head on over to Instagram and follow the Black adoptees
yes,
page
absolutely.
so that you don't miss anything, because a lot of cities are now meeting in small groups here in Atlanta and in
Mm-hmm,
Florida and Detroit or wherever they are.
yeah,
There are Black adoptees getting together. We're having these small mini meetups before the meetup.
yes,
So
yep,
get together. If you're not able to make it to the big one, get to the small one, get to your local meetup, get in the community,
mm-hmm,
bond, share,
yep.
and just know.
And if you don't know anyone, start one.
I was about to
Post it.
say,
We will connect you. We will connect you. We will get the
absolutely.
people. We'll help you find the people because they're there and they're in every city and there is someone looking for your group.
That's right. That's
Don't be afraid to be the first one to step out. If it wasn't for these two women
yes.
had to step out and say, we got to do something. And it all started from a conversation where we were
That's it.
unrepresented.
That's it. And whether you know it or not, there is a need for you to start one or be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
Yeah.
need. We need each
Yes.
other. We're still growing. We're still healing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
you whether you know it or not,
Yeah.
you need it. So
Yeah. So I'm gonna try very hard to be as eloquent and professional as you are as I start my podcast in January. It is called From Hidden to Healed, and it will talk more about the mothering adoptive process, the mistakes, the journey,
yes,
the things I've discovered being an adoptive mom, being having two birth kids, two adopted kids, the effect of the what I did to my own birth kids and bringing children into our family and putting them in between, and what I did to them by stripping them of their heritage and now trying to repair that, the apologies that I've had to make to my children, what I discovered as an adoptee that I did wrong as an adoptive parent, because now I know some of the things I'm doing to my kids. So, I hope people that need to hear that will join me. But once an orphan and so many others, and even just going to the Black Adoptees meetup, you have a plethora of podcasters and influencers that are speaking in this space. So if you go there, you will find the rest of us.
And it's okay. You can get connected, because tell them what your Instagram handle is so we can make sure it's on the screen, so we can make sure everyone has the chance to follow you, stay
Yeah,
connected, and watch you as you continue on your journey and start your podcast
absolutely.
series.
So promoting the podcast, it is From Hidden to Healed. And then personally, you can find me as Alma's daughter, an homage to my mother. So on Instagram, I have Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And that will be my space. And I will be talking to not only my fellow adoptees, my Black adoptee brothers and sisters. I'm also one of the board members of the National Association of Adoptees and Parents. So we'll be speaking about a lot about that. But getting people in the space, and primarily getting people who have never talked about this before. So I've got some really good, interesting guests lined up. Some adoptees who don't even know that they need to be a part of us yet.
Right. They just
Yeah.
don't know. And
Uh-huh.
that's the thing, when you know and when you
Yeah.
connect with us, you are going to, it's going to blow your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To
One
hear.
of my first guests will be a young lady that was at our church. She's adopted, and she married an adoptee. So a young couple who grew up in foster care that have married each other, who now have a child, and the dynamics of that, because I can't even perceive their relationship. I can't even begin to perceive their life. They're both adopted out of foster care. I can't wait to find out their journey.
So this is the reason why we have to talk about it, why we have to follow, why we have to get connected, because there's so much work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And if we sit back and sit on our hands and feel like I don't know where to start. One thing I heard Mr. Steve Harvey say once is, he said, you don't even got to know what you're doing, just start.
Just start.
Just start. You just
Yep.
start. Regardless of what,
Jump.
starting may look
Jump.
different. Just jump, right?
Just
Starting
jump.
and jumping looks differently for all of us. But
Mm-hmm.
you will figure it out along the way, and
Yeah.
so many good things will come from it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I hadn't attended the Black Adoptees meetup in Chicago, we wouldn't even be speaking right now. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
and I'm
But
grateful.
this is a very well educated group of people, and we have resources from the Adoption Network, Search Angels, books, authors, podcasts, journalists, some of our movies. We have people in our organization that have movies about them, and you're going to only gain a value being a part of this group and this organization. And like I said, it's going to grow. So be on the ground of it while we still have a small group that can talk to each other often, because pretty soon it's going to be bigger than we think,
It's
because it's necessary and it's needed.
right.
It's needed.
It is needed, and it's,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, oh my God. You know, we can just talk about the Black Adoptees
Yeah.
forever, and
Yeah.
I am, as always, I'm grateful for your time and for sharing
Thank
your
you.
story. This was one
And
of
thank
those,
you for allowing me so much
of
time,
course.
because, and as I told you, there's so many directions my story goes in, and I apologize to the audience for being so lengthy.
No.
I I love people that understand everyone has a journey, and everyone's journey needs to be heard, because in hearing that, you validate existence. And the number one thing that I think an adopted person wants is validation of your existence. That's number one. I'm here, and sometimes we don't know how we got here,
Right.
but we're here. And it's almost that line in Color Purple. I'm here, and thank God I'm here. And thank you, God, I'm here.
Yeah.
And it's a hard road. It was a hard road for you, and it was a hard road for me to get here. But thank God we're here.
That's right. Very hard. But like you said, thank God we're here. And everything is done in God's timing. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't ever understand it.
Absolutely.
We're not supposed to. We don't have to. But we have to do the work.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm grateful for, people like you who
Mm-hmm.
are doing the work, who are sharing your stories and reaching the people. Instagram is now reaching social media, period. You are
Yeah.
able to reach people on every part of
Mm-hmm.
the globe. So there's no reason why you feel like you don't belong. There are people
Right.
who you can connect with. And I mean, we're here for each other. Take advantage of these moments. Take advantage of
Absolutely.
media. We can scroll all day, all night, but scroll to the point of what you're looking for and what's going to have a positive impact on your life, because we
Have a purpose. Have a mission.
have a purpose.
Don't just don't mind the, yeah. I mean, you can skip a cat video every once in a while, and do something for yourself. Do something for yourself.
Absolutely. Oh my God, Alicia, I enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you so
Me
much.
too. Thank
Oh,
you.
I mean, I am. For those who know me, they know I'm not speechless. Use. Let me end this. Hold on. Thank y'all for watching.